I've learned recently that I loved your opening statement about how we have been led to believe that we are limited in this physical body and that we're so much more than this physical essence, and that there is so much more outside of our limitations that we really can't profoundly understand because of what we came into existence in this specific environment. And that's kind of where my question is. I've since learned that this specific environment is actually very protected by a very strong veil that is now beginning to um, have holes in it, let's just say, starting to dissipate because we are beginning to understand that we are so much more than this limited physicality. And many of us are coming together to raise that frequency and that consciousness, to connect higher. So I was going to ask you, is this true? Are we living in a world that is sealed like a dome and there's so much more outside of that dome? And this is why it's so important for us that you keep expressing that we go connect with nature and the trees, because the trees are interconnected underneath to what's really truly outside of this particular enclosed environment, and it will help us raise even further together as one. Could you expand on that, please?
A delightful musing, a delightful understanding. And indeed, there are some aspects which we could elaborate. So, with your understanding of a veil and piercing or holes in the veil, this is accurate for the most part, but dome would not be the analogy that we would like you to understand. This is a layered, uh, realizing that it is more of a layered aspect. So if you would say each dimension is traversed, it is easiest and the most accurate understanding of how you would be able to access, be able to understand the thinning or piercing would be from the layer analogy. This dome thought process would come from your understanding of the physicality of Earth or Gaia, as you would say, but we would like you to go beyond that and understand that the interconnectedness of all the force fields, I guess, would be the easiest way for you to understand it. All the energy circulating and how everything is connected, and you refer to them as dimensions. So, with the layering analogy, you would say maybe that one would be the lower dimensions, and then you would traverse upwards to the higher dimensions. That it is not exactly like that, but it is the most accurate. So with the veil, it would be a coating, and this would be more for the transition point. So the transition point that you referred to, that you understand that there are stirrings, we will say stirrings within the poking of holes with this thin layer. There is a separation, and this separation is a more accurate word, and the separation has been imparted, we will say imparted, due to the original machinations of ones who intervened and allowed it to be more trial period of seeing the entrance point. We will say entrance point. We do not mean to confuse you. So in the early ongoings of the populace, as you would know it, in the realm which you are residing and in your physicality. This would been many, 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 many eons ago, but there was a transference of or injection of alterations. The alterations were determined to be too heightened, and they were determined to be the non-original intent, but the heightening of them was then dampened. Thus, the piercing that you would refer to is a reversal, a piercing as you would see it, is a slow allowances to allow the acclimation point. Acclimating is the, if the veil, as you would see it, was completely removed, you would not be able to tolerate it. It is acclimating. And for your purposes and understanding, we wish for you to understand that the more that there are in activations, as you know them, or we like to refer to them as injections. It is not the type of injections that you're thinking of. This is indeed injections of an energetic nature, encodings, frequencies, and things of this nature. As these are received, and there is a heightening of understanding and connections and upgrades, as you would refer to them, then the holes become larger. As this transference allows others to receive, thus your contribution in bringing this to others' awareness and allowing them to experience this and see things with a new set of eyes, as you may see it, this would enhance the thinning and the holes getting bigger. Thus, you would more people acclimating, receiving, and enjoying this new energetic combination of I will say origination. This is originally how you were created, but there were many hands at play, and there was a determination to allow ones to stifle some of this to be more manageable, we will say. And this period overall has ended for those who wish to receive, as you are one. So, to fully assist, did we answer your questions sufficiently or create more questions?
Or both. Oh, no.
Both.
Where would you wish us to elaborate, dear Lord?
So this opening of, as we expand and as we raise our frequency, get out of our limitations, our consciousness, limited consciousness limitation of that essence, and the holes in this veil, this denser layering, as the holes expand and open, is this our access away from this constricted environment? Or will they all, or will those holes be completely, will the whole, all the layers be gone, or will they just be holes?
It is an access in the following way. So to say that the earth will split off into another, in a way that is one way of seeing it, but as more and more allowances and more receivers, we will say, and the frequency and the focus shifts, so will the experiences in this realm. And thus, many refer to it as ascension, but this would be an entry point indeed. But the physicality and the propagation of experiences will remain the same. There is certain allowances, and there are monitorings. We are monitoring and assisting, as you see now, and we are all supported by a vast network of assistance that you sometimes interestingly encounter and you have in your own ways. But the assistance is vast because there is a push now, because there has been, we will disclose this, there has been an alteration of the prior arrangement. The contract was no longer valid, and the contract of the old way, so to speak, has been void now because it has run its term. So that has opened up for our injections of these frequencies and allowances, and the shifting, as you will see it, of the consciousness of your collective. There is a, we will say, not manipulation, it is an influence. Influence is the word, an influence from some of the prior influencers, but that is dwindling more. But there is a push to hold on to what they see as their right. But this is, as we said, the contract has run its course. So this has allowed more of this to take place. I know I am providing you much information, and I am not intending to confuse you, but I want you to get a grasp of the big picture, and as you have so eloquently done in many ways.
And I think what's important too is to focus on what you want to experience, right? Because that's what's going to manifest in your part to the collective. And we come here, so separation is an illusion to experience the density of a thought, right? So beautiful. In this physical being, how we want to, what we want to manifest and bring in, we need to experience those emotions, that thought to that emotion to that belief. And that's what our focus point really should be. I believe, now this is me and the many will jump in here if need be, I believe that all truths are the truth. So within each individual is a reality, right? So what they work through, what they're manifesting, what their perspective is, what their experience is going to expand and awaken and activate within their reality, in part of adding into the collective, right? We're still one body, oneness, we're still oneness. So every part, all the dualities, all of the moments that we have are still going to create into the whole. But really what we can control is our contribution, our turning into a self, our understanding that separation is an illusion, but for our benefit, to experience the universe, to allow the universe to experience itself through us, to expand and enlighten and align, right? So what do you want to align to? I would definitely say focus more so your energy and balance with what you're wanting to bring in. Already become it, be it. And then the masculine parts of the doing will automatically just happen, and intuitively, because your feminine side, your being self, will be vibrating that structure. So for that masculine, the doing part of us, we just tap into that intuition and we're guided and we're creating. Manifesto. Bam, 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 bam. Bam. Right? I just got the chills, but go ahead and add into that.
There are basic universal truths or laws, as you would know them, but there is also free will. Indeed, this is exactly what we were going to say, free will. And within that, there is many diversities and of, as you would see them as opinions. It is not in our realm. We coalesce and frequently allow diversity of will not say projects or opinions of the way you think of them. It's not really, it is the truth, but indeed there is not always an agreement when there is discussions. But overall, it is not to be violated, that of free will.
Beautiful.
So when you bring awareness, then one's free will change, will it not? Maybe.
Beautiful.
So bringing awareness is of utmost importance, and you are all contributing well. Let others be aware.
I think introducing the idea of getting to know your God self and normalizing that instead of feeling guilty, like, oh, I can't think of myself as, a powerful being, because that is saying that I'm higher than, right? And we're all the same that way. We are all the same source. We're all the same. I am you, you are me. That's how we dance. That's how we're alive. That's how life flows through us, right? Together. But knowing our God self, I think maybe that's where some of our religion and some beliefs and morals that way have been kind of turned around into this fearing, or maybe putting God up on a pedestal and leaving us to be like we're lower than, when we are a part of.
Source is available to all. Source is, as you know, received varying degrees depending on the willingness of one's free will to receive that connection to source. So this is a key point. Those who have not allowed or do not receive that will have a different focal point, we will say. Thus, bringing awareness to this will increase the focal point of your collective's free will, and thus will shift into a paradigm that is centered on many things which you are aware of. We do not need to tell you, you know these things, and allow it to be centered on other things. Do not think you are but one voice. What can one voice do? Remember, we told you reaching with your energy, correct? Remember that we said your energy body is connecting and reaching and is limitless. So in this limitless capacity, what can one vehicle, one essence do? You are powerful. Do not disregard that. You and many around are focusing on assisting others. And we are here to tell you that when you are contributing vastly, you will receive vastly. It is a law of exchange, the law of return. Do not doubt yourselves or put yourselves into that programmed limitations. Be free of that. We know that through your day you will come into different scenarios, but go back every day to your limitless energetic connections swimming around you.
I love that.